Hello, dear test takers. I'm back again with this particular question, words in context questions asked by one of my student in the class. So I thought maybe you would also having the similar type of doubt with words in context questions. So before we look into the question, I want to help you with the pattern or how do we go ahead with this words in context questions. As the name says, words in context. So the first thing that you have to do is never skim read. Okay, skim reading is all about picking up only the first two lines or the second two lines or the last two lines by understanding it or reading only the superficial aspect of the passage. No, never ever do it. You need to read the passage carefully. First thing first, okay? This is something that you have to carefully do it. Number two, and primarily you have to look for the lookout for the keywords. Very, very important. Because from these keywords, you will definitely identify some words have very strong positive, okay, very strong positive emotion related to it or very strong feel, okay, and sometimes you might feel negative feel. Sometimes the words also can give you a hint of neutral feeling, right? So these words are very, very important. From this words you can draw a lot of clues. The words are your clues. They take you to those answers. And number three, summarize the passage, the idea that you understood. I mean, after reading the passage, you had some idea, right? Summarize the passage in your own words. And now, here's one thing I want to give you as a disclaimer. Never ever look into the options before you read the passage, okay? Because sometimes some words might confuse you. If you read the words first and go to the passage part, never. Don't, you will never able to identify your right answers. Sometimes you feel like, hey, I find my answer is like, yeah, I already have something in my mind and I would mark it as, I feel that's correct. No. So first you have to follow these steps. Read the passage carefully, look out for the keywords, think about, marking some negative, positive and neutral feeling that you get from those words or underlining them. Annotation of the words is very important. So look out for the keywords and annotate. Annotation, you have all this annotation devices, tools available on the test sheet, on the test papers, right? In the digital format. So summarize the passage in your own words and then what? What will you do? Then predict, do some predictions. Predictions from the passage, predictions of the passage. So what could be the passage? And then what will you do? And finally, try to match your predictions. Match your predictions to the options. All right, this is how you go ahead with the words in context. First, read the passage carefully. Number two, look out for the keywords and try to underline them. And if put some, mark it like positive, negative. I get some positive feeling from it or negative or so on. Then summarize the passage in your own words. Try to boil down to a, one short summary, right? Just one or two lines in your own words. Then predict the passage. Predict, okay, what exactly is this passage telling me? So, and then with this predictions, try to look out for the options. Am I clear? Now, how do we eliminate? Because as you already know that you are summarize the passage, you have negative, positive words in your mind. And then now let's look at with the example. Okay. So the question in for our practice that I got it for today's discussion is read. Let's read it together. Okay. If you are watching this video, pause the video and read. As an undergraduate researcher in anthropology, okay, Jennifer C. Shen contributed to groundbreaking, very, very strong word, study, challenging again is a very strong word, accepted views among the prehistoric people. Okay, so three strong words I got to see here, right? Or I would put something like plus plus, very strong. It's like moderately strong, I would go with 2 plus, right? All right. So female participation in hunting was what? We don't know. We'll look for that up. Okay, we'll look for that word. Okay, basic, and this is the first part of the so-called passage. And from here, we only understood about this, that there are some words which are pretty strong. Now let's read this, the next portion of the passage. The research team's review of data from late Pleistocene and early Holocene burials in the Americas revealed that, okay, so this is going to reveal something. In fact, oh my God, Dear students, please keep in mind, in fact, however, but these are also hints, and punctuation marks are also hints. So you have to pick up these clues. In fact means, what does it mean? It is trying to emphasize about the previous statement, or about the previous fact, or about the information. Okay. So in fact is a connector, or it's a transition word. As many as half of the hunters in those populations were female. Wait a minute. Now I can boil down to a summary. Like, what could be my summary is, so previously, so the old study, whatever old study was there, according to the undergrad researcher. So he said that there is an accepted view, already some old views, point of view was there. So what was the old point of view? That female hunters, what? Now, from the second part, I actually understood that, no, wait a minute, the new view is, what is the new point of view is that, that as many, like a lot of hunters actually are, a lot of hunters those population are, who are they? Female only. So previously they felt blank about women or female hunters, but there are now, from the new viewpoint, it has been now discovered that um, half of the hunters from that population were actually female. Now, since that half is an indication for me, it's a quantity they're talking about. So can I say that hunting was low? Can I go with that? Because we're talking about a number half. So here they, among the female participation in hunting was, I would write it as low. Let's predict this word as low. Okay. Okay. This is my understanding. This is only my summary. So previously the most accepted view was female participation in hunting was low. Okay, making sense, right? I think you're getting my point. The research team now, after some reviews from the late so-called places, burials in Americas, revealed some extra information, and in fact, the most strong word, in fact, that half of the hunters in those population were female. So definitely they have revealed something new. Previously, they thought this, now they're thinking something new has been come up. All right. Now, from this summary of mine, I would look for the options. Let's see. Okay. Now, commonplace. How would we say common? Commonplace means something that's going to be common. But they said here what we have predicted is low. So this is ruled out. Cannot be a commonplace. It cannot be a common in hunting that they were common. If it was common, then why would they make again research and they found something? No, it was not common. There were half of the hunters of population were female. So satisfactory doesn't fit to our requirement. If it was satisfactory, then they will not reveal this. But there were like many of them, a lot of the half of the hunters were actually female. Now, inevitable means something that you cannot, what do you mean? Inevitable, something that you cannot avoid. Something is inevitable means some things you cannot avoid. Okay, so something unavoidable. All right, I hope you get it now. Unavoidable, right? So, yeah, let me write it so it would be clear for you guys to understand. So here, inevitable means something that is unavoidable. Okay, right? So that is inevitable. Now you can't just plug in this something that is unavoidable. Does it fit? No. Now what we are left is negligible. So something that is very low can be negligible, right? Negligible amount or negligible quantity is nothing but pretty low. Something that is not just on the fingertips. You don't need to count it as a major thing, right? So commonplace is something which is common. No, that is exactly why they have revealed something new from it, that as many half of the hunters in this population were female. Satisfactory is not making any sense here in this so-called blank. Negligible definitely fits to our requirement because we are talking about low count. Low count means something which can be negligible, correct? So that's how we find out words in context questions. When in doubt, always look for Yes, what would you look for? You would always look for, read the summary carefully, underline the keywords, look for whether they are strong or how, what kind of connotation they have, or the minute you read those words, what kind of feel you get, right? And then create your dumb summary like, okay, this is what I understood from this, like how we did here. And then try to identify, try to predict some word for this blank out of this passage. After you summarize, some word definitely gives you a clue that you need to fill in that part opposite to that word or similar to that word, right? So from here, I got to know, okay, I finally understood that the word can be low, and the word that is referring to low here is negligible. Am I clear? So that sounds easier if you practice with this rule by reading the passage carefully, annotating the keywords, finding a little meaning from these, no, creating your own summaries. From the summary, write your own word in that blank that is there for you to fill in. From that word, now try to look at your options. Never ever look at the options before you read the passage. That's all from me. I hope it's very clear for you all. Bye for now.